Hi everyone, welcome back to Creative Design and Compositing. It's week 12 of the class. This week we're going to continue working on the zine from last week, and I'm also going to put in a new project called the Self-Mutilation Project. And the idea for this project is for you to take a photograph of yourself about chest high and for you to manipulate the photograph in different ways. I'm going to show you how to make yourself look like a stone sculpture and also like an avatar, and hopefully these two methods will be a strong enough foundation for you to mutilate your photograph in any way that you want. I suggest that you be creative with this project and we'll see how it turns out. So I'm going to first go back to our assignments tab. This is a self-mutilation project. The idea is for you to take a photograph like this and mutilate yourself in any way. And here are some ideas. You can make yourself look like the opposite sex or a different race. You can become a supernatural being, an alien or an animal, a clown that expresses a big emotion. You can also turn into different materials like stone, metal, smoke, a loser in a fight, older version or younger version of you. And if you want to try something different, just email me and I will approve it if I feel like it's something that is doable. But if not, I suggest you pick one of the topics from here. And the idea is for you to pick 3 of those topics, and it should be instantly recognizable what you're trying to do. So don't transform yourself into something too obscure or confusing. And I also suggest that you make yourself look as realistic as possible. Remember to also pay great attention to detail, and we still have to be able to recognize that it's you. So this is what I'm looking for in the photograph. I want you to take a nice photograph of yourself in a well-lit area, and of course the photograph should be a high resolution. And the final format should be 11 by 14 at 200 ppi, and I want you to pick one headshot that you like the best and use that for 3 different themes. And remember that each theme should have their own Photoshop file so you don't get mixed up with the themes altogether. And if you're not sure how to mutilate your face in a certain way, I suggest that you search on YouTube for the ones that I am not going to be showing today. So that's about it. So now I'll show you how to create a stone version and an avatar version of your face. I'm going to create a 200 ppi and 11 by 14 page. Perfect. So I will work on the stone first. So the final version of the stone looks like this, and I worked off of this photograph. So if you want to create yourself as a stone, remember to change your photograph into a black and white version. And what I did here, as you can see, is I wanted to make the bottom of her chest look like a stone. So I actually cut it out from this sculpture and put it right below her. So let's get started. So what I will do first is drag these 2 objects and put it into this Photoshop file. Perfect. So I'm going to just Command T and make her head a little bit bigger, and I might want to make this bottom part a bit bigger too to fit her shape. Maybe move it up a bit. So that looks pretty good to me. This is how I want to work with her. And what I want to do first is I want to cut her out. So let's do that. I'm going to copy it, Command C, and then Command V, paste it. I'll put her there. And I'm also going to cut this bottom piece out too. Zoom in a little bit and start cutting. So I got these photographs from Unsplash, which is a free online photo site. I suggest that if you want to find something like this, you search on there, or if you want me to download some photographs from a website called Shutterstock, send me an email and I'll download those for you right away. It's free if you ask me, but usually it costs money to download from there. So now that I'm here, if you think of a stone sculpture, obviously they don't really have these pupils, so I want to get rid of her eye pupils. And right now her hair is very textured, so I want it to look more smooth like a stone. So the idea is for me to kind of paint over her face to look like a stone. So what I will do first is I'll probably use this smudge tool, which is right here. And I might just lower the strength to about 20% and just kind of make it so that her face isn't so porous, I guess, and it kind of looks more smooth like a stone. And I'll do that here also on her hair so it doesn't look so grainy. So the idea actually is for me to not make it so she has so much contrast in her facial features, because right now it's really dark where her hair is, and I probably don't want it to be so dark, especially in this area. So just smudge a little bit here and there. And now paint over her face. So let's zoom into her facial features. I'm going to use the eyedropper tool. Eyedrop an area in her eye. Use the brush. Did you see how I just made a new layer to paint over it? I usually make a new layer because if I make a mistake, I can go back if I do this, but if I don't do that, I usually can't go back. And right now I have a hard edge brush, but I want to use a soft edge brush. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. Kind of paint it like this. And you can go back and use a different lighter color so it's a bit more natural. So here, maybe I want it a little bit darker. And now what I'll do is I want to also get rid of her other facial features like her eyebrows. It's too dark. Also paint a bit over her hair. So as you can see, it takes a lot of time to make it look natural. I'm gonna speed up the video. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to add this part to her neck part. So right now you can see this is a lot lighter. Remember how we learned about brightness and saturation? I'm going to turn down the brightness, maybe turn up the contrast a bit. And right now this has a lot of yellowish tones, but this is a pure black and white photo, so I'm going to desaturate this. So everything below it is affecting it right now. So I'm actually pretty happy with how this face turned out. I can definitely go in and paint it a little bit more, but I think that it turned out pretty well. So I'm going to merge these two layers. Right click it, merge layers. And now what I'll do is I want to make her face a bit brighter. So and maybe turn down the contrast a bit and make it a little bit brighter like that. I'm just going to affect her face like this. Merge this too. Oops. And here, that means I can make it a little bit lighter. Perfect. And right now, the edges are what makes it not look natural together. So what I'll do is I will create a mask layer and click on the mask part and kind of paint over it so it turns black like this. Just make sure that the edges look natural. Right here it's kind of perfect. Like so. Nice. I'm liking how it's turning out. And right now, for me, her neck actually kind of looks dark right here, this part. I'm going to merge now all of these layers. And I will take the brush and, oops, create another layer in case I make a mistake. And kind of brush it so it's not as dark. And now what I'll do is I'm going to put a texture on top of her face. So I found all of these textures also on Unsplash. So take a look and type in the textures that you like. For instance, here I typed in marble and I found these textures. I will merge these two that I just created. And I'm going to use this and put it into this face. So right now, it's obviously, I need to change the opacity around and play with this. So maybe if I do multiply, oh, nope, sorry, I'm on the wrong layer. So here, if I do multiply, maybe I would like that kind of effect. I have to find the effect that I like. Maybe I like this lighten effect or soft light effect. And it's a bit strong, so I'm going to turn down the opacity to about 60%. This one. It's a bit strong too. And finally this one. There we go. And what I'll do now is I would probably put a nice background for her, like that. So right now, some edges are a bit not so nice. So I might go in and erase some of the edges. Just want to make sure. Okay, maybe I like it a little bit lighter. And this background color, I might change it to be a little bit brighter, like that. And right now, she kind of looks like she's floating to me, so I want to add a shadow with the gradient tool, circular gradient. I'm going to shrink it how I like it. Like so. There you go. That's how you make a stone sculpture of yourself. And now I'm going to show you how to create an avatar. 11 by 14 inches, 200 ppi, perfect. So now what I'll do is I am going to show you how to create an avatar like this guy. So I started off with this photograph. So I'm going to scale it like so. And what I have to do is I need to make him turn blue. So what I'll do is use this magnetic lasso tool this time. The shape is pretty clear, so this is actually a good one to use. And sometimes the edges are not perfect, so you have to go back and fix it. So right now I'm just gonna, if I press shift, it adds to the selection. As you can see, there's a plus sign. And then I'm gonna subtract this by clicking on the Alt sign or Alt button. Just some edges like this. Perfect. And what I do now is I'll create a new layer and I will put in a color. So right now I think an avatar color is similar to this. Maybe? Oh, there we go. Deselect it. And then I will make this on top of his face and go down to something called color. So right now now I can kind of see the edges where it's not so clean, and I might go back and fix that. Actually, his ear is not a big deal because I'm going to cover it with avatar ears. And I might want to maybe get rid of it on his head. Maybe I want his hair color to just be normal. So I'm just going to erase the blue from his head. And right now the blue actually kind of looks too saturated to me, so I'm going to turn down the saturation a bit. There you go. Oops. And of course his teeth, it shouldn't be this blue either, so I might go in and erase it like that too. Maybe bring back a little bit of his lip color. And also his eyes. It shouldn't be blue. So avatars actually have really big eyes. So I'm actually going to increase the size of his eyes by selecting his eye, like so, copy it on this layer, paste it, Command T to scale it up, make it bigger like that. Or maybe a bit too big, maybe a bit like this. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Copy it, paste. Perfect. And right now I can see I might need to go back and delete or erase some of the blue again. Great. And also, these are other patterns that I put on him, and I'm going to just bring it in like this. This is his ear, his eye, and his pattern on his skin. I found these online. So let's first do the eye. So you can find different sources online too and put it on your self-mutilation. So right now, I know that this is his left eye, so maybe I can change the name so I don't get confused, and then I'll maybe just put it in like that. So it goes into the shape. And then I'm going to copy this, Command J, do the same thing for this side, put it in. And as you can see, it's a bit unnatural because it goes up a bit too far. So I'll mask it again and start to just erase it a little bit. Let's see. Actually, right now, it looks like the blue might be a bit too far. Oops. I'm going to erase the blue. Also erase the blue on this side. There we go. Now I feel like it looks a lot more natural. And then I already brought in his ear. So I will first take his ear, shrink it, Command T, and then shrink it to the size I want. Turn it in. And I'm going to also duplicate it for this side. Bring it down here. And if I right click, I can do something called flip horizontal, and it flips the object for me. There we go. And right now, to me, it seems like it's the blue is a bit too dark compared to the blue on his face. So what I can do is I can go back to the blue layer and start painting a bit here. I need to just make sure that the ears are below his blue. Oh yeah, and now you can see that old blue is back from the ear. So I'm going to paint it a little bit here. But I like how it has a bit of pink in his ear, so I'm going to try to conserve that. And right now I'm using a hard edge brush, so it looks a little abrupt. But if I use a soft edge brush and erase it a bit, it looks a lot more natural. Like this. Maybe I'll paint a little bit more here. Yes, perfect. And finally, I'm going to put this pattern on his face. So this looks a bit big. So that looks good. And then I might see what looks natural here. Create an outline like this. So now it kind of cuts it to the shape of the blue. Let me bring it back. Let me leave it here at the top. Actually, I like it better with a different filter. It looks better with color dodge. Yes. It looks natural everywhere. Perfect. And I might want to go back and add some dots. I want to go and add some white dots. Just adds a bit more character to his skin. And avatars actually have these white dots on themselves too. So you can play around with the size. And here, if I unclick this, I can actually move just the pattern. So maybe I want to just play around with the pattern here. This looks pretty good actually. I'll leave it there. So this is how you create an avatar of yourself. I'm looking forward to seeing what other creative solutions that you come up with for your self-mutilation project. And I'm also looking forward to seeing the final works of your zine. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Thank you.